Hello boys, it is Orca with another commentary on my YouTube channel. And I'm actually recording this on Sunday morning. I think you guys can watch the video if you're watching the videos, I'm recording this 4 weeks before you watching this. Last night I tried to play with limits, but we didn't get good games, so it was a little bit sad. And I got some Sunray videos because Sunray usually streams all the time and getting good games. I normally don't. But next week, boys, next week is coming a video from my stream. It's called Space the Goat. So yeah. You see, next week you see more gameplay from me. If you don't want to watch gameplay from me, don't watch the next video. If you really love watching my content, playing when I play, you need to watch the next video in the next week. And what we see here is WNSC versus WNSC versus Kavi.
Local units.
And Kavi is way more important to know. It's a brute on Sunray's team, which is represented by Andrew, aka Forward the Goat, playing versus an RB, which is represented from Topher. Yeah, I think Sunray's other teammate is Fusion, and Topher's teammates are Phantom and Blobbed. Blobbed, on the other hand, was going reactor second and spawn blocking the brute. Good catch off from him. So if you catch the first brute, the first brute is important to get through. And I really don't know why Andrew is running the left way instead of the right way to go to the RB space. I don't know why we don't see any scouts which temple the RB is going, because the RB obviously we see it right now was going temple second. No brutes came through, so no offensive damage from Andrew so far. And Sunray don't scout that the RB is going reactor temple second, so he could not go the reactor slightly early, but Andrew at least he get one out of his 2 brutes through. But the problem is, when you already have a red bar brute, the other team only needs 1 ram to clear this off efficiently, and he don't want to close his base to lose his last brute. So those guys were getting 3 to 4 kills on the brutes, which is indeed not good. The brute did 0 damage so far, and the other guys killed 4 pets. You can really argue why those guys are not scouting, and that is also a shit catch from Sunray, not paying attention. But at least he dropped the D-bomb at the right timing. Sunray, if you write in the commentaries if you really plan to catch this RB. If you really plan to catch this RB, it was definitely a good play. But the Kavi lead on the other team is like massive right now. I really wanna upload this because I really don't know how this can happen. I mean, you can argue those guys have double forge and those guys maybe have an Enders, obviously can go reactor second, the forge can't. But you can argue that both forges can react the second down tech and go to the RB when you guys are scouting. That the RB is going temple second, but it is a pretty much all-in move when you go reactor second and hope that the RB is going temple second offense, because usually he's playing defense on the brute with temple third. But I think to meet in the middle, maybe those guys could go reactor third after checking which tempo the RB was going. But then you also can argue that the RB can usually close his tempo, so you cannot scout it. And then the pretty
enemy engagement.
pretty thingy what I don't really never understand why Andrew went the left side instead of the right side straightly to the RB base.
Local units.
I mean, sometimes it is really a good idea, like to hit an Anders. The Anders on the other hand in the other team is like yellow. So actually when you're running on the ramp with the Brute, you can flag scout if the RB has turrets. If the RB don't have a turret, you usually attack the RB. If the RB has a turret, you can go to the Anders base. And if the RB don't have a turret, he's upgrading his pads to get money to rage down your Brutes, or he's going on offense. And if the RB is going on offense and you are not on the RB base, you are kind of fucked. Because you wanna do damage. You are the Kavi with the most DPS in the early beginnings to the buildings with your Brutes. Yeah.
Local units.
I think the title of the match here is
Local units.
How can this happen?
Local units.
But what you really can argue is those guys like going reactor second and reactor third on offense,
Local units.
getting the Brutes, and the RB is going on O2 is pretty ballsy.
All units.
It really is.
All units.
If those guys are not spawn blocking the Brute at the right time, the Brute gets 2 Brutes through, maybe only one is enough. Then the Brute has the opportunity to do more damage than those guys are doing.
Anytime. We're ready.
Local units.
Online and rolling. Moving up.
And this is actually what happens.
Out. Ready to go.
Local units.
Target locked.
Enemy engagement.
Orders.
Yep.
All units.
I think like to counter reactor second like this, you need to go reactor second as well.
Fueled up.
Vehicle depot.
But when you have 2 fortresses, like, you can really argue. Count taking a reactor is normally not the play. But I love to do it. But the bright opinion is it is a bad play.
Local units.
Because the forge has heavy pads straight at the beginning, and if you building more heavy pads straight at the beginning, you're obviously getting more lead out of it. If your second thing what you are building is not a heavy pad,
Local units. Local units.
it is usually not good.
Local units.
The other guys, the other leaders of the UNC need to build a reactor to upgrade the pads, but you have already upgraded pads, so the later you go with the reactor, you out eco the other leaders. And if you go in reactor second, you already lost the eco lead.
All units.
Because the reactor obviously is not gaining money. And those guys already have both tanks. They covered it Sunray Scanny, which is also pretty good, and we don't see a vamp so far. these stone benches, which make pretty sense when you have both. And it is pretty good that they lost, that they're losing so much benches, the other guys. I'm pretty sure they want to get Sanguinus Kenny again, that's why they're sacrificing so much, but the problem on the other hand is they don't have leader power to kill it, because Blob is the only seed, I think.
Ready to go.
Local units.
But the Banshee sacrifice was
Local
pretty
units.
worth, because someone will never get Kenny, and that is the game. Maybe we can get some discussions, maybe I'm wrong and the leaders are not quite even. But they should be definitely even in the early game, in my slightly opinion. But we can discuss it in the comments. I hope you love it as well. Put a like on, write a commentary, and I see you in the next commentary. Later.